Karly, you're the economic development manager at the council, and you've got so many exciting projects that you've been working on and that are coming up. So I'm really excited to hear a little bit more. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Laticia. Good to see you again.
Yes, you too. So tell me, Griffith has lots and lots of exciting projects, and it every time I go back, there's just more beautification happening. But one of the most exciting developments, I guess you could say, that's happened recently is Griffith Base. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the hospital development?
So we have a brand new hospital in Griffith with state-of-the-art technology and facilities, and they are really looking forward to having some new staff come on board. So if there's any country changes in the medical professional, we'd love to have you here in Griffith.
It was already a pretty big hospital, so obviously there's more beds, specialized units. What can people expect? Because I think one of the biggest concerns when people are, or questions people have when they're relocating is what access to medical care can I get? And this is obviously a really good example of you can get amazing care. And just this little animation walkthrough is really cool. It looks very lovely and peaceful. You've got little gardens outside, big rooms. What's it like? What can people expect?
So actually, I was just looking at my statistics in my booklet here, but I'll just explain from firsthand what I experienced. I went on a tour of it when it first opened, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It gave me goosebumps to know that we have this facility in Griffith here. And you walk through and everything's green and lush, and there's beautiful windows overlooking some of our lovely gardens and tree-lined streets, and there's beautiful courtyards, and all of the rooms have their own bathroom, which is phenomenal in a regional city like ours. There's a new maternity ward and bathing unit, and I had to take my sister to the hospital in emergency the other day, and they had it all decorated for Christmas, and it was just a really good vibe. And for once, I didn't feel so anxious about being in the emergency department.
And as you said, medical staff are needed. Obviously, doctors, nurses, allied health workers, and others. Where can people go if they are interested in finding out what jobs people have that the hospital's got?
They can go straight to Jobs Riverina Murray, which is on the Country Change page, and look through there because all of the Murrumbidgee Local Health District positions are listed there.
Oh, awesome. Well, and also just in terms of people who aren't familiar where Griffith is, I'll just quickly bring up a map.
So we're 5 hours drive from Melbourne and 6 hours drive from Sydney and a 1 hour flight from Sydney, which is really great. But there's lots of people that work here that are fly in, fly out workers as well. But in all honesty, I probably only myself fly to Sydney or Melbourne once a year to go to a concert or a show because we have lots of concerts and shows. I went to Amy Shark the other night at the theatre and that was phenomenal. And we went out for a drink afterwards and we got to chat to her, and you
Oh,
don't get
wow.
those opportunities in the city. In regional towns, it's a different experience with your favorite performer right there in your face, and it's a really lovely feeling being in the community, especially when we've got exciting events and festivals and music here. I don't know if that helps you answer your question,
Yeah, no,
but
that's great. And a lot of performers are actually from country areas, so they tend to make a point of visiting those regions. And as you said, there's a lot more intimacy in terms of the time that they're able to spend with the crowd, or even socializing after the gig or before the gig. In terms of accommodation, because housing's a big topic, has been for feels like a couple of years since COVID now nationally. What's the housing situation like for people who might be interested in relocating, particularly for jobs? What's on offer at the moment, or what's coming up?
okay, so Griffith City Council, we first undertook our Griffith housing strategy in 2019, and we just finished a updated 2025 housing strategy, which sets out our goals going forward to help people gain access into the housing, buying a house, but also renting and having more affordable homes for workers and everyone that needs a house because I know everyone is struggling at the moment. So going forward, we still have some really great relationships with private developers in Griffith, which is our strongest relationship at the moment, honestly, because it's really powerful. And we've got a developer that we've been working with closely at council to undertake more medium density housing and make it a bit more affordable entry into the market. And also council has applied for grants and been receiving grants to undertake housing infrastructure, so your roads, your water and your sewer, to make it easier for developers to go and build homes, units, apartments for our growing community and newcomers, hopefully. So
Yeah.
Letitia's bringing up one of our partners that we work with at council who have been doing a phenomenal job at getting housing on the ground, and they've also been master planning and developing land out at our new housing estate in Kalina.
Yeah, and I think it's you sort of talked about the different range of housing available, and I think when I talk to people, they think if you move regional, you've got to be on a big block of land and a, mini farm. And yes, of course, you can do that.
Yeah.
I think people are surprised that you can also live in an apartment in a country area, if you like, or a townhouse or a small block.
Another topic alongside of the housing is that in years to come, we're going to have unlocked housing for potentially 500 new homes with our Lake Wangan infrastructure redevelopment, where council received grant funding from the federal and state government to undertake that, which is really exciting. Some amazing master planning happening there, and also in our precincts of Hamwood and Yenda as well. And we're also beautifying our CBD and our main street with some grant funding as well from the Sustainable Communities grant stream. So big stuff happening. I'm sure I've missed a few things, but that's pretty relevant for country changes, I think.
And outside of the medical jobs at the hospital, what other industries are emerging or really strong where people might be able to secure a job?
Definitely manufacturing and engineering, and also construction workers. Construction workers are run off their feet, some of them working like 72 hours a week, weekends, crazy hours. Look, they're loving it. It's rewarding, but we can't build houses and get more houses on the ground unless we have construction workers. So at the moment, that's really important. Another area that is really lacking is mechanics and anyone that's like in the agricultural field as well, professionals, accountants. There's a Look, if you go on Jobs Riverina Murray, there's a whole list of all different industries, no matter what you're interested in.
I'm just sharing the Jobs Riverina Murray page so people can
Hmm.
go in there, type in the postcode, the city, and just pull up uh, the range of jobs that are there. As you said, there's a just even there.
Engineering one right there.
Yeah, marketing, purchasing officer, nursing, like obstetrics, lots of truck drivers. You've got such a wide array of jobs there. But in terms of the Country Change page, if you head to countrychange.com.au, head under our places to Griffith City. I couldn't find it then. And on this page, you've got a really good snapshot of what's on offer, the little towns and villages, some lovely little case studies with Shannon, who is an AMBO who relocated from Sydney, was only meant to be a short-term placement. She fell in love and is now...
A mum.
Oh, so she's already given birth.
Yep, yep.
There you go. She's had a baby. She got
And a
married.
house and a dog.
Of that, married a local police officer, so it's very cute. But you get a really good snapshot of the region, what's on offer, industries, ops, jobs, and then education and housing. So make sure to jump onto that site.
I'm happy to talk to anyone as well that has any inquiries, as I usually do. If anyone's skilled in a specific skill set, then I can help them find a job, and I generally put them in touch with a potential employer or tell them to put their Air CV onto the Jobs Riverina Murray page. And yeah, I've lived here all my life, so ask a local if you want. I'm here, always here.
And how can people get in touch with you?
They can email me at ed@griffith.newsouthwales.gov.au, or you can give me a call on 0269694819.
Amazing. And I'll put those details in the post as well. So thank you so much for joining us. There's so many awesome things happening across a range of sectors there. So thank you so much for joining us.